The scientific world agrees that finding a second or third Earth is not a question of if, but when. We just took a giant step closer to that reality with the discovery of 7 Earth-sized planets, all orbiting the same star 40 light years away.
It is a rare and exciting discovery outside of our solar system. Award-winning rocket scientist, author, and radio talk show host Olympia LePoint is here with details. I think everybody's geeking out over this, don't you think? Right?
Well, yes, because it has always been a question. Has there been life, and is there a life on other planets? And this has always been a theory, but for the first time, we are seeing scientific evidence that this theory may actually be true.
Okay, so are they really planets, and where are they? How far away, if we can even kind of compute that in our brains, right?
Compute it. It is actually very far. It's around 40 light years away from our solar system. We found it's TRAPPIST-1. It is a solar system that contains 7 different planets. And these 7 different planets are almost like Earth. And the reason why this is so fascinating is that the solar system is unlike anything that we've seen before. It has a rocky type of environment of planets. And most of the type of systems that we've seen before has not had that structure, and this structure is very similar to Earth, so we are seeing that there's possibly evidence with 5 different things that we would be looking for in these planets.
Okay, so what are we going to be looking for? And just to be clear, we haven't seen indication of life yet, right? That's not what everyone's excited about. It's the possibility that these planets could sustain life.
Yes, it's the possibility that they can sustain life. And there will be almost a 99% probability that they sustain life if they find 5 different elements. Oxygen. If oxygen is prevalent, that is the main component of H2O, which is water. So if there's ocean streams or ocean bodies, that shows that there is a flow, energetic flow on the land itself. And also we'd be looking for ozone, methane, and carbon dioxide, which is the type of greenhouse gases that allow energy to actually be trapped in the atmosphere. So if we have both energy flow on the surface as well as in the air, that's actually going to sustain life, and that's what the scientists are actually going to be truly concerned about within the 3 main planets in the 7 line, because the planet closest to the sun may be a little bit too hot to have water, but the planet closest, that's the farthest away, it may be a little bit too cold to actually have water. So one planet may be a little bit too hot, one may be a little bit too cold, so we're going to be looking at those 3 planets in the center to see whether or not they actually contain water.
So I'm sure some people are going, well, why now? How have we discovered this just now? Tell us about the telescopes. Is there something special as to how they found this?
We actually have new technology in these telescopes. We already had the Spitzer technology in the telescope, which is a telescope that was launched here at Cape Canaveral, Florida, in 2003, and me and my team of rocket scientists actually launched that into space. And we were excited, but it only captured infrared light from stars, so we could actually see galaxies. And this particular telescope is really powerful because it has mapped the Milky Way so far. But it was missing the one key component that the TRAPPIST telescope, which is run between 3 countries, it's operated with Switzerland, Belgium, and Chile. And so that technology is now able to look at if stars are dimming. So if the stars actually dim, it has an idea and a probability that they have planets that orbit this dwarf star. And so between these 2 telescopes that have just been found, we now have had the technology that we saw with NASA with developing this new solar system. We're actually discovering it.
And it would take how many years for us to get there with the current technology, the rocket technology that you developed?
It would take longer than we would be alive.
Right.
That is true.
Something like 700,000 years or
is that all?
crazy like that.
It is, and it's very distant. It's very distant. But the reason why this is so monumental is that now we can possibly be able to have proof that there exists a different type of life in another system.
Fascinating. For more science information about Olympia LePoint, you can visit people.com and you can read this week's article, Modern Day Hidden Figure. You can also listen to her live radio show and podcast called Answers Unleashed, broadcasted through Pierce College. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Thanks a lot.